So good day, Centralians. So today we are with the former General Secretary of the Convention of Baptist Churches of the Philippines for 10 years, from 2000 to 2010, so Reverend Hope Santiago. So
Yeah.
sir, thank you very much for taking time to be with us today.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you also for this interview.
Yes, sir. So sir, for my first question, I would like to ask, when did you realize that you had a calling from God to be a minister?
Yeah, actually, I entered the CPU College of Theology in the year 1976. I entered there because I realized I have that calling for the full-time ministry in the church. So I enrolled at the College of Theology, Bachelor of Theology.
Yes, sir.
Then I finished 1981
Yes, sir.
from the College of Theology.
Yes, sir. So, what are your favorite memories, sir, in the College of Theology? Or what moments really struck your heart and your mind until today that you can still remember?
Yeah, of course, the fellowship there at the College of Theology, because we were staying during the time
Yes,
at
sir.
the dorm, and we have a dorm for men and a separate dorm also for women. So it's really a very challenging moment to have your schooling and at the same time uh, having together with the rest of those enrollees in the College of Theology. So we have that very close fellowship from time to time.
Yes, sir. So, was there a particular reason, sir, why you chose CPU?
Yeah, of course. My older brother also graduated from CPU. He graduated from the College of Agriculture, and of course, our place in Romblon had been a place where the missionaries would usually come, local and American missionaries as well. So our house was a place where they usually stay.
Yes, sir. So, sir, after graduating, did you start your ministry or did you pioneer, or what were your steps after
Yeah,
graduation?
of course, after graduation in 1981, so I received a call from a church in Negros, in Bago City. Uh, that was Mao Evangelical Church. And after working for a year, they recommended me for ordination. So I was ordained actually in 1982. So I graduated 1981. Then
Yes.
following year, after working in the church, so they recommended me for ordination, and I was ordained in that church, Mao Evangelical Church.
Mao Evangelical, yes, sir. So, sir, can you share with us what are the things that you love about being a minister?
Yeah, I love really serving the people and the community,
Yes, sir.
especially those who belong to the marginalized group. So I think I am more inclined to serving the poor.
Yes, sir.
So that was a small church, but it was a very challenging church because it's a church where most of the members are sugarcane workers, and because of that, so I was able to organize the rest of the churches around. My church where I worked to had at least 10 daughter churches around, so I organized them into one circuit, and now that circuit is still there. That's it.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I'd like to ask, what were the challenges that you had in your ministry and how did you overcome them?
Challenges, yes. So I have seen really the challenge of how to really serve the community, not only the church ministering to the needs of the whole community. That was my challenge. In fact, I stayed there for 3 years in that church. Then I joined the convention in its development ministries during that time. So I was involved with the convention already for the ministries in the communities. Yeah.
Yes, sir. So, sir, as the former General Secretary of the convention for almost 10 years, what were the uh, causes that are, or advocacies that are close to your heart as General Secretaries? Or what was your vision as when you were General Secretary?
Uh, During that time, our convention was suffering from support from churches and institutions as well, especially on the financial side. So at the end of the year, usually the convention has its deficit in terms of its budget. So I I tried really to reach out the churches and the institutions as well and challenge them to really support the national ministry of the convention. Aside from that, I was able to convince also the leaders of the convention to really find other avenues for support. That is why we were able to build that Centennial building near the headquarters at Haro. So we have finished that before my term ended, and it was already operational before I went out of the convention. So I think that's a big support now in terms of the operational expenses of the convention.
So, sir, in your perspective, sir, having been the former General Secretary for almost 10 years, how did the convention grow from 2000 to right now, sir? What do you think are the improvements? What are the things that have reached another level? And what do you think is next for the convention?
Yeah, so I think during my time, the relationships of the different Kasapulanans was really strengthened. You know, unification, in other words, of the whole churches in the convention. Not only within the churches, but the institutions as well. In fact, we were able to amend our constitution and bylaws to include the institutions become members of the convention during my time. So that's it. So when we speak now of the Convention of Philippine Baptist Churches, we are not only speaking of member churches, but we are already speaking of churches and institutions as well. By institutions, we mean Central Philippine University, Philamer, Christian University in Capiz, Iloilo Mission Hospital in Iloilo, Capiz Emmanuel Hospital also in Capiz. We have one in Bacolod, that is Bacolod Christian College of Negros,
Yes, sir.
and Antique Christian Center. So these are historically related institutions to the convention, and they became members of the convention until now.
Okay, yes, sir.
And of course, by membership, so they financially support the convention.
Yes, sir. So, sir, how do you think events like this, like the General Assembly, how do they strengthen the convention?
Yes, they strengthen the convention because the pastors are the forefronts in the field. They are really there. They are the ones that really do the real ministries in the churches. So it's really good that we can have this annual gathering of pastors, not only for fellowship but for learning, for inspiration, and draw more challenges when they go back to their own respective churches. This is really very, very necessary, the gatherings of pastors.
Yes, sir. So, sir, with your experience as a minister and with your experience in the convention as a leader, what advice can you give to those younger generation who are looking for their calling, and your message also to young pastors who are starting their ministry?
Yes, we are really very proud that our younger generations now are so exposed already to different technologies, no? And these technologies are very, very useful, in reaching out others, not only local but overseas as well, and in strengthening them. It's very easy now, to design activities. Although you seldom meet physically, but you can have discussions with others who are in far places. No, still you can be unified through this modern communication technologies now and others. So I think we should instill in the hearts of our young people still the passion for mission. No, not to forget the mission, whatever their fields would be. This is actually an integral mission, and when we speak of mission, it's already a holistic thing.
Yes.
No, so we address the whole of the person, the physical, the spiritual, and all aspects of life of that person. So I would like really to challenge young people to get involved in here. Uh, Whatever would be the status of our young people in terms of, of their professional growth, they should not forget the church.
Yes.
They should always be involved with the church because otherwise those successes they can gain would be useless unless they would still be part of the church.
Yes, sir. So thank you. So, sir, for my last question, I would like to ask for your message to, or encouragement to your fellow Centralians, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so dear Centralians, I am with the board of trustees of the of CPU until now. During my time as general secretary, I sat in the board as an ex officio member, and after my term, I was elected as a regular member of the board. So I would really encourage all the Centralians to really let's get united, no, always in support of the ministry of the convention through Central Philippine University. In fact, right now we have a big project there. The five-story senior high school building is being constructed, and many more. So this is our university, and we are so proud to have CPU as our university, and a very strong members of the CPU. How do you call that? Alumni,
Yes,
no?
sir.
Alumni of Central Philippine University. I am really so proud to have CPU as my alma mater.
So, sir, thank you very much for sharing your love of CPU, but most of all, your love of God and your love for ministry.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Sipsi.
Thank you.